Hello everyone. In this particular video, we are going to talk on the vulnerability known as cross-site request forgery. Before starting onto it, I would like to explain you why it is known as cross-site request forgery and which side of attack it is. Either it is client side or it is a server side error. So client side, it's a client side based error where client will be get vulnerable to this particular thing. So what to do in this and how to perform this attack and what are the mitigation for this particular attack. So cross-site request forgery, first we have to understand like what is cross-site request forgery. So cross-site request forgery comes like uh, for example, you have $100 to transfer to Mr. A account, okay, and a hacker send you a malicious link and you click on that particular link, and now the amount is being transferred to Mr. B's account. So it was going to be transferred on Mr. A's name, but now it is being transferred to Mr. B's name just because the client or the victim has clicked on the malicious link which was sent by the attacker. And how that is possible and how that has been taken place, that has taken place just because the website was getting access on a different tab also. So here CSRF is there, okay. I'm getting a PHP session ID. If I show you like this, so this is the PHP session ID. Let me remove this one. So this is the PHP session ID. At the time of the login with your user ID and password, you been assigned your browser will be assigned with the session ID, and that session ID will be a authentication key for you for every time you make a request. So if that is not there, you have to every time give your user ID and password for every request, and that is not possible actually for a normal user. Because if I click on build force, if I click on command execution, if I click on CSRF file inclusion or SQL injection, blind upload, XSS reflected, store, security, PHP info, about, and anything that make any request to the server need to be get authorized. So every time you have to give your user ID and password, and that is not possible. That is the reason we have a session ID, okay. So this was the basic part which I have explained you. Now how the attack is been going to get performed. So for example, if I take here the current password which I input here, and I want to change that password, okay. I am typing the password, I start the interceptor change, and now you can see here um, there is the current password which is in the clear text, which shouldn't be there. So this is the common loopholes which needed to be taken care of. While the passwords are going into plain text which shouldn't be there, it should be encrypted, not encoded, because encoded gives a little security but not the top level security. And I'm explaining you this is in a high level, okay. So consider this as a high level security based. So what if I change here, okay, what if I change here this 123. So no, let's do a little more thing. Add this into repeater. So this was the proxy. Let the request go as it is. So now password will change to the current password was lol, and now the new password will be password. Let me forward it. Now it says like password has changed. We'll go into repeater. Now coming on to the repeater part, I assume like most of the people don't know about repeater. So changing password here, taking the request in the proxy, and then changing here, and then again I have to modify something. I will check the response. If I didn't like the response, I wanted to make some more changes, I will refresh the page. Doing every time, taking the request here and then seeing the actual output here is not a good idea. Means I'm repeating the same interception here and then changing the request and sending back to check the output. It's not a good idea. So means we are repeating the same thing to, so whatever you are repeating, just send that into repeater, you want to check again and again. So what I will be doing, like the password has been changed, so the current password is password, and the new password string I will enter here 123. Okay, and here also 123, and I will take this request, um, where it is, yes, request in browser, in original session, copy, and I will paste here, and I will give it to here, interception on off, and as it says like password has changed, and what we have changed to, what was there into password 123. So let me check, let me get logout, let me check is it the password has changed. And to make this a some realistic, not entering my own, let's do it like password 123. I will type here admin, copy this, paste this, okay, login, and I am able to log in. But we have changed it to password, you remember, we have changed it to password, and now we have changed it to password 123. Just what I have done is I have taken this request in browser in original session, I have copied this URL, and I have gone into like a new tab and enter it. Means I am sending a request to this particular application, but the session is authorized here, and I have for you got a malicious link, you open that opens into same browser, and it basically sends a request in the application, and just because your application is being authorized with the PHP session ID, it will execute this request and take your request and execute that request, and give you the final output. So the password is changed. In the same scenario for any banking application, if this vulnerability exists, which I assume which won't be existing, in that case this can transfer the amount, and in some cases it may change the content, it may change the actual passwords which we have done here. Means changing of anything basically, yeah. So changing of anything, while now if I do it, it won't be going to be, because the password has been changed to 123. Let me change it back to normal, and let the default be wap user ID and password, elsewhere I will be getting confused what was the password. So I am going to make it by default. So this is the way, like hacker will copy this and will give you the link, and once you click on that particular link, you enter, there is a request password change, you will be seeing, but your money will be gone. Okay, if I change here now admin, if I again have to type here password, and if I paste your password, okay, and there we are, our password is also changed. So this was all about the CSRF at a high level. Okay, so I have explained you CSRF at a higher level. Why I did so? Because I wanted to explain you CSRF in more detail and not at the low, medium, high. Because the things are all already pretty much the same. Because at the higher level, if you understand the whole thing. So this was all about the CSRF. Next we will go on the file inclusion, SQL injection and SQL injection blind. I will try to do it together, and then the upload functionality, accesses reflected and store, I will try to do it together. So you might get to understand, because accesses reflected is not going to get stored, and accesses store is going to be get stored at a server side. Okay, so that's what it for this particular video. We'll continue the more in the next video. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and keep subscribing and viewing this, liking this particular videos, and continuing this particular playlist. Thank you.